Raiam Santos, Brazilian businessman, Instagrammer, pisatel.
Yeah, so this is Raiam Santos, a great guy from Brazil.
Spasiba, drug.
Yeah,
Thank you.
he came to Russia, to Moscow, actually on the World Cup Championship,
Campeonato
and he wrote a book about the other side of Russia. And this book became so popular and viral
In Brazil,
that he
yeah,
got
yeah.
how many subscribers?
Right now, 420,000 in Instagram, but I used to have 1.1 million before Instagram
Yeah.
banned my first account.
Yeah, this is a very interesting story. So tell us a few details. How did it happen that your account was banned?
So I cultivated a lot of haters in Brazil. People don't like me. So like, because I'm very extreme in some content I create, either people really love me or either people really hate me. The people who really hate me got together in Telegram groups and they said, all right, let's report Ryan's picture at 3 p.m. and everyone just do it massively. And Instagram was like, oh yeah, this guy's got reported, let's ban his account. So as I said in the talk today, like you should never create a castle on a land that is not yours. I was like investing so much time on Instagram. All of a sudden, my account wasn't there because it's not my land. Who owns it? It's Mark Zuckerberg. He does whatever he wants. It's his company. So like I have to adapt. Like I have to look at other channels. I have to like create many different Instagram accounts because if one falls, the other one's still there.
Yeah, so actually it's a very smart strategy. And what I loved in your speech that Ryan told how to use the 7 sins
Oh,
in
yeah.
the Bible to sell more.
Of
and
course.
Actually, you gave a great example. So every sin, and what I've realized is that you understand the psychology of people.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You use it, but you're not involved in it. I mean, I love the
Because
picture.
it sounds natural, right? It looks
Yes,
natural.
yes.
I'm not involved in it. Yeah.
This is great.
The
So
picture of what?
the picture of, for example, that you buy Rolex for guys who love Rolex,
Right.
all this stuff. Yeah, so and what helps you to become yourself and at the same time to record so many videos, create so much content?
Yeah, it's a very hard thing to separate Ryan business and Ryan personal life, right? In business, I'm a very extreme guy. In personal life, I'm like a nice boy. I'm like laid back, relaxed. And because you're in social networks and like my job is on Instagram, it's a store, it's a magazine that never closes. It's never closed. So like I work 7 days per week. So one of my resolutions for 2020 is to have more time for myself, to work less, because my persona on Instagram is very much related now to like what I do in personal life. So I'm starting to like separate that.
Yeah, and one more thing that you create products for digital nomads.
Yeah.
And so digital nomad is very popular now, and more people want to become nomads, especially here at Bali.
Oh, yeah,
they
of
come
course.
to
Of course.
do some freelance work. And how did you start to this way, and what helped you at the beginning of your journey?
Yeah, I started actually as a pisatel, a writer. My dream was to be a writer. And I wrote my first book and it became a bestseller. I was like, okay, interesting. Making money like this, I can work from anywhere because people are still buying my book and I'm sleeping and people are still buying my book. I'm like, okay, I like passive income. I like to make money and not work. If you think about it, in a book, you work once, right?
Yeah, you
work
wrote it
once,
and then
you
you
wrote
sold.
it, and then you're done. And like, if it's well positioned in Amazon and in the bookstores, people will buy it, and you have to do nothing. So I was like, okay. I used to work in finance, investment banking in New York. I had like a very fast life, going to the office, closing deals, working many hours, and I was like, this is not for me. I like to travel. I like to meet people. My job was me in Excel and like computers and like money, numbers, and I was like, you know what? I like to travel. I like to meet people. Graças a Deus, And then I'm like, all right, I need to change my life. And then my dream was to be a writer. So I wrote a book, it happened. So I wrote 7 more. And then there was one moment that I noticed people are not buying books anymore. Right?
True, unfortunately.
People are not buying books anymore. So like, how do I adapt? Well, people are not buying books, but they keep consuming content. How? Well, Instagram launched stories, Snapchat stories. Okay, so people are going that way. I'm gonna do my books, whatever I was gonna write in the book, I would do content in stories, in online courses, in YouTube. And that's when things went up. I was making $50,000 per year in 2017, and now I almost $5 million in a year in 2019.
So look at the result from 50,000 to 4.2.
Well, a lot of things changed, but like mainly giving up on the books. Like books were like my main source of income 2017. Now they're free. I give my books for free, but I get a person's email.
Yeah.
And I do retargeting, and I do email marketing, and all of that. So it's worth much more money than selling one book to that person. So here's the deal. Here's my book for you, for free. Oh, if you want to pay for the book, you want the physical book, okay, I'll send it to your house too.
Yeah, so you give people some useful content at the beginning for free, and then when they realize that you add value, so they buy your products.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, yeah.
And what about your future plans? So how are you going to develop?
We did about between $4 and $5 million in 2019. I want to do 4 times more in 2020. How? Creating more products, as far as more online schools, more masterminds, more events, and getting whatever I already have in English, in Spanish, in Italian, because I speak Italian, in the Russian market. I'm moving to Russia to like do strategic partnerships with a guy here, with a guy there, start coming in as a speaker in conferences and stuff like that. So yeah, future looks bright.
It's amazing.
I'm very confident and happy and thankful. So like things are gonna work out well for me, and we work out well to you too.
Yeah, if you follow the advice,
Yeah.
it's the same. But what about, so this strategy is more like a broadening.
Right.
Yeah, but didn't you think maybe to concentrate on one niche, on one key product, and stick to it and
So I
develop
have a
it?
team. So that's the importance of you having a team. With my employees and my partners, we can have each person concentrating on one key project, while I am traveling the world closing partnerships with big influencers in Russia and the U.S. I was interviewed by the Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort in California. So like I'm looking into tapping those foreign markets little by little too. Yeah.
And about your team, so how did you start to grow it? I think you started alone, yes?
I started alone. I had my first employee in 2018, and I hire only people who are my clients.
Oh, really?
And people who are who were born after 1995, because they think faster, they're self-taught, and nowadays I don't need preparation, I don't need skill, I need more speed than anything else. If the person can do fast work, and if she can learn fast too, like self-teach or go open a YouTube video and learn what they're teaching on the YouTube video, that's the kind of person I get on my team.
And one more question, I think, which is interesting for everyone. So, where do you live most of the time?
I don't live anywhere.
You don't live anywhere?
Every month I live in a different city. However, 2019 I got a little tired of that. So 2020 is like 3 months in each city, starting with Moskva.
Really?
Da.
You come to Moscow?
Da. Moscow City, Okotava.
Oh,
Да.
Когда? When?
15 января.
Oh, 15th of January. Oh, that's amazing. So you will be able to see Raiam in Moscow.
Da.
And maybe if you come to Moscow, you can tell some of the most amazing stories that happened to you.
Oh
in
yeah,
the
of
World
course,
Cup.
of course.
So maybe you can tell one story right now, so which you can't forget. It is so remarkable.
Well, I had sexual stories, but I'm not gonna talk about that. Let's see. Oh yeah, in Samara.
In Samara.
So there were buses between the city center and the stadium,
Yeah.
and Brazilians were all together waiting for the bus, and it took a while to get on the bus, and the bus fit about 100 people. We were about 300 people in the bus, one on top of the other, singing Brazil music, and the police people and the driver couldn't do anything because nobody left. Everyone wanted to go to the stadium. So like, and also the funny part is like, we met Armenian guys who were pretending to be, they were wearing yellow, they were pretending to be Brazilians and telling the Russian women that they were Brazilians.
Yeah.
But like Armenians, they kind of look a little darker, a little like Latin, and they're like, no, yeah, Brazilian. I am from Brazil. You're not Brazilian, you're Armenian. Come on, you're Georgian, Gruzia. Da.
There was a story like how some Armenians they pretended to be Brazilians and they
Yeah,
had some
the
sexual
girls,
intercourse.
devushka, yeah. And then, I heard that story, and then like the girl messaged him, oh, how's everything in Brazil? When I'm coming to Rio de Janeiro to visit you. Little does she know, he lives in
Baku,
Tbilisi,
man.
Baku, Niet, Yerevan, not in Rio. Yeah. Как дела? Русские друзья?
Отлично, я думаю.
Отлично. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you, Raiam.
Thanks for having
me. It was
me.
a great interview. So, Raiam Santos, digital nomad, author of 8 books and successful courses about making money on Instagram and YouTube and other social networks. Thank you for the interview, and it was Evgeny Korolev.
King
Pitch School-
Genia, King Eugene, yeah.
So
King
pitch school,
Genia.
pitch startups at the international conference, and see you at the next podcast.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.